Hey guys. All right. I'm not gonna make it that much harder than this. I just thought it could be an interesting topic to talk about, like what kind of world that I want, what kind of future I want, what kind of possibilities I want for everyone. And before you brand me as a commie or a Nazi or whatever you want to brand me as, I'm not really that. To be honest, it's pretty hard to brand someone like me as a Nazi considering how inclusive I am in my statements and how inclusive I am in my beliefs. Although what I am not inclusive of is evil. So like I I basically put the world in good and evil. That I make it simple like that, rather than saying all communists are evil, or all communists are bad, or all Nazis are bad, or all liberals are bad, or everyone who doesn't agree with me is bad. I just say, well, let's look at this from a more objective point of view. Okay, this person could potentially be said to be objectively evil. This person is just putting a bunch of other people through needless suffering for his own entertainment. That is pretty evil. Those who throw others under the bus so that they can go further up, that's pretty evil, or malevolent at the very least. I think most people would agree. There's a select few that would be like, "Oh, there's no such thing as objective evil and whatever," but they still believe in a social contract and whatever. And I think, how about we have a good social contract in that case? Anyways, let me go through the actual worldview. Um, or well, what I want. So I don't think that we should necessarily be killing each other for resources, because we don't need to. There are enough resources for us to stay alive. There's enough food and there's enough room at different places of the planet. Just don't overpopulate it. That it's not that hard. And survival, I think that should be fine. Like you should be able to survive. I think that's you could consider that a human right or whatever you want to consider it. But I think everyone should have the right to survive. And I believe that if you're in a Western country or whatever, and well, your technological development has gone pretty far. I think that it's completely fair to go for a system of like UBI or something, but like cut it down like a fuck ton. I think people should be able to live off of noodles and bread and to be able to play the games they love. And I think that instead of competing for the basic resources or just being able to, sustain your life, because let's face it, if you get that as a, let's say you get that as a man, you get $300 per month. You live in a garage somewhere, you eat noodles and you have some internet for your PC or whatever, and you can play your games and whatever, and you can do the things that you might enjoy online. Then the competition, because there would still be a mighty competition, that would be for excellency. Men would compete for excellency, because women would still choose the men who are more suited, so to say. So that way, the problems that we may face would eventually just go away because you would have it good enough to not fuck everything over for everyone else, but you might not feel like you've achieved something, you know, because generally women want to achieve things so that they can get a good woman and they can reproduce. And the men who achieve excellency would reproduce still. So you would have incentives as a man, many incentives to achieve excellency, and you would have a better living standard. But I think everyone should be able to live okay or somewhat decently because we have enough resources for that. Um, and then you might um, bring up good and evil in that regard as well, because the people who would then, despite getting these chances to live and chances to like have an okay life without really having to work that hard for it, and if they would ruin things for others while they're getting that, instead of just trying to achieve excellency while being lazy and just pushing everyone else down, that's pretty evil. And I think that honestly, I think those people should that we should get rid of those people, like legitimately. So that's kind of the idea, the worldview that I would have, or some kind of future that is potentially possible, which isn't really communism, because communism is let's steal everything from the rich and give it to the poor and have everything be equal, basically. Like, okay, it's not exactly that, but it's if you drag it to those lines, and the base idea of like, oh, everyone should be able to live in abundance, everyone should be able to live in an okay, yeah, sure. If you're all decent people, then I think you should at least be able to live and just live your life, you know? I mean, the technological advancements will make this more and more possible. Like, imagine when we have AI doing stuff and replacing workers and stuff. A lot of people are worried because it's like, oh, well, then we won't survive. Well, if the AI is doing that, then the AI is producing, and then you might get a share of what the AI produces, right? Like, you could see it like that, and then you could see like, oh, well, some people are benevolent and would be up for that. People who make the AI perhaps would say, you know what? We can make this and we can use it so that it's decent for a lot of people. And of course, you can do that out of the kindness of your own heart. Like, why wouldn't you want the world to be decent for as many people as possible? At least decent people, you know? Like, because a lot of people say, oh, well, everyone is evil. No one would do that. I would do that. If I was at the top, I would definitely do that. But also, I would punish evil much more. And I think the ones who are evil at the top should be severely punished. Because they get to the top by being evil, and they ruin things for others, and they still ruin things for others. They keep others down just for their own. I don't even know. Like, it's kind of like a power trip or whatever. I don't know why they do that. Because me personally, I'm thinking if I'm rich, I don't think my habits would change all that much. I mean, I would do some things that I don't do now, like I would probably travel to Japan, but I don't see the point in having total luxury, you know? At least not everywhere. It would be nice to have like some form of slight luxury, something you can enjoy occasionally and feel like, okay, this feels like life is fine. Like go to hot springs, but that would still be pretty cheap. But that would be something, to make me feel good. But I don't need fancy cars. I'm not interested in that shit. I don't need a yacht. I mean, of course, it would be nice to have a house if I'm gonna, have a family and whatever. And if I'm rich, yeah, I would probably make that investment. Um, or a manor even, but that would be pretty pricey at maids. But it depends on how rich I am. Um, but more than that, nah, man. Like I wouldn't mind helping people with the money, remainder of the money, but I wouldn't want to do it through taxes. That is another point. I think taxes are just a terrible idea at the rates that we have it now. Considering how what the taxes are used in many countries, what they're used for, it's just completely pointless. Like a lot of it's just bullshit shit that doesn't help anyone. Like in Sweden we have this like chromed apple or whatever that was worth I think it was worth like 37K in euros, something like that. And this is something that the taxpayer is paying. I know it's not a lot of money in the grand scheme, but these kind of shits that don't really benefit society at all, why invest in that at all? And if you want to go for some kind of scientific advancements that would benefit society, I think you could look at what Elon Musk is doing, or you could look at AI, but AI could be pretty dangerous, so which Elon Musk says as well. You could also look at genetically engineered cat girls, and that would be something that would help a lot of people. That would also solve another problem, because remember how I said that, well, that could also ruin some things, but remember how I said achieving excellency. But I think you would have to incentivize the people to try to achieve excellency, because I wouldn't want to make like cat girls cheap, you know? Like if you have a genetically engineered cat girl, it shouldn't be cheap, it shouldn't be easy to attain, right? Because that's not then you're not rewarded, and then it's like I mean for your and someone's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna check in, and this guy said engineer genetically engineered characters, I'm just gonna leave. It's just people's attention spans are absolutely retarded nowadays. Holy shit, they're pathetic. People are pathetic. Holy shit. I'm a bit of a misanthropist, but despite being a misanthropist and thinking that most people are absolute crap, or, well, not absolute crap, but most people are neutral. There's more evil than good. That is kind of how I see mankind. That doesn't mean I don't want to help people. Because, I can see that mankind has potential to be better. And so I want to do what I can to help as many people as possible, especially the decent people who are trying to be the best that they can possibly be so that I can help them grow as individuals and learn more, and so that I can help other people learn more about the world and about themselves and about how people work so that they can accept the people who are different. Like if you're autistic and you have certain skills, maybe you'd be a little weird socially. While a lot of people would like, oh, I will avoid this person, but this person can achieve absolute greatness in this person's particular field. Like it can be some scientific field, it can be some creative field. Like I personally play piano and I make a lot of poetry and I even sell poetry. Well, I sell songs. I mean, I sell lyrics, but I sell poetry. Anyhow, I wouldn't call myself an author though, because I kind of quit that, and I didn't make that much money being an author. And it didn't seem like I had that much of a future being an author, because I'm a bit of a failure. But anyways, I'm a cute boy. Might have to sell my body though. Shit. Selling my body would be kind of interesting though, wouldn't it? Like, and now people time this. Like when people join in, I see. Oh, there's another viewer. Shit. Now coming in right at the moment when I said selling my body, it's like the timing. Don't leave. It's not what this stream is about. It's quite random, but I've gone through the basic ideas of how I would like the world to work to benefit as many people as possible. Where I guess summarized it would be good versus evil. We would fight against evil. We would unite as many people as possible, and we would be able to give decent living standards or semi-decent living standards to as many as possible, and then we could focus with taxation and shit like that. We could focus on furthering science rather than what we're currently focusing on. I mean, yeah, people would have a certain circle that they shouldn't overstep unless they're trying to achieve excellency. And okay, that's a pretty bad summarization. Fuck! Gonna bash my head against the wall. Um, but yeah, hopefully I don't look like a total rapist right now. Maybe I look kind of cute. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe not. But I think I've pretty much said what I want for the world. I mean, if I had questions, then I could go through and like answer things like how would I make this work? How would I make this work? But I think I've actually summarized it pretty well. But each individual can miss things that others can catch up on. Sometimes it's just BS and it's nothing that they're actually catching up on. But sometimes people you can learn a lot from another person. So regardless of where they stand, you could definitely mm, see something that I don't see and help me improve. And I could probably do the same for you. That's a pretty good way to see things, I think. Like to improve ourselves to the utmost by learning from one another. And here I'm just seriously, I'm super autistic. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. Like I'm touching the pen just like this. Like holy shit, man. The autism is strong within this one. At least I'm aware of my own little autistic spurgouts. Elon Musk, genetically engineered cat girls, and AI. I I'm sorry, man. I think that's pretty. So if I continue, it's just gonna be boring for everyone. This is all right. Have a nice day, and thanks so much for tuning in. And maybe I'll see you some other time. I just decided to make some serious idea of my worldview, some serious talk about like what I believe could potentially work for as many people as possible, like with goodness in my heart. while also showing that I'm not really. So you don't put me in some kind of category because I don't fit into any of these boxes that people tend to put others in. Benny's Benny's box.